Hello and welcome to January 2026 monthly horoscopes. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Justyna. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today I'll cover horoscopes for each rising sign. These horoscopes are most accurate for your rising sign. However, you can also watch them for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life. I follow Western astrology. So this month I chose some 4 events for this month. And this is Chiron stationing direct in the sign of Aries at 22 degrees. We've got a full moon in the sign of Cancer at 13 degrees. There is a full moon in Cancer and a new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees. And Neptune is now moving to Aries and it's not going back to Pisces. So it's a huge event and we had a little taste of this event in 2025, and then in 2026 this is something much more significant. All right, so let's dive straight into it. Hello Aries and welcome to your monthly horoscope for January 2026. We start this month with Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing direct in the sign of Aries at 22 degrees. So that's your first house, the house of the self, your identity, your physical appearance, your outer shell, if you will. So here when Chiron stations direct, so there is a forward momentum taking place because here Chiron is regaining its strength after months of a retrograde phase. So anything that perhaps felt confusing, unclear in relation to your identity, to your goals, to how you show up in the world, matters connected to self-assertion, confidence, things are suddenly starting to make more sense. They are moving forward. If you've been asking yourself questions like who are you becoming, which direction should I be heading, am I good enough for this job, this role, this project, and so on. So generally this energy, this event is going to bring much needed clarity, and at the same time Chiron retrograde here gave you this amazing opportunity for healing any wounds, situations, resolving situations, memories connected to anything that generally affects your ability to assert yourself, to reach your goals, to stand up for yourself. So here, this is the time when you will begin to integrate the lessons, the healing you went through during the last few months, and Chiron will move into Taurus mid-2026 temporarily, and then next year much more permanently. So we've got pretty much the last year of Chiron in Aries. Here, Chiron in Aries is overall helping you to reach a point of self-empowerment. It's helping you to heal your wounds related to your identity, confidence, assertion. So generally, if you feel like there has been a situation where you feel stuck, it was difficult to move forward here, Chiron stationing direct could really help you to get the answers to these questions or thoughts, worries. All right, so here on the 3rd, on the other hand, we've got a full moon happening in the sign of Cancer at 13 degrees. So here, a full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs, and this is the mid-cycle of this lunar cycle, if you will. So here, think about what you started, what you initiated in this area of your life. So that's your home, your emotional foundations, anything to do with your roots, where you come from, family matters as well. So there is a situation here, there will be a situation at your home that will require your attention, that will have to be addressed. All right, so we've got Venus and Mars at this time as well. They are in the sign of Capricorn, so in opposition to this full moon. So Venus and Mars are in Capricorn, the top of your chart. So here, this is a busy time when there is probably a lot happening in your career, especially with Mars in your 10th house. But at this point here, your energies, your attention is required at your home. So here, this full moon will also bring to light any imbalance between your home and your career life. But at the same time, this is also when you'll be making decisions regarding your home, regarding your living situation. Maybe you're completing a renovation, maybe you're working on some important renovations, maybe you are helping your parents to move forward with a specific project, for example. So whatever the scenario here, as with every full moon, we gain clarity, things are moving forward, we know we want to go right or left. This full moon with that Cancerian energy in play is also helping you to bring more comfort, more stability into this area of your life. And on the 18th, we've got a Capricorn new moon on the other hand. So a new moon is about new beginnings. Full moon is about a culmination, it's a point of release. So on the 18th, we'll have a new moon. So we're starting a brand new cycle, brand new energies, fresh energies, and that's at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So a late degree of lunation indicates a possible moment of urgency and like you're running out of time. We had a few of these lunations at very late degrees towards the end of 2025, and this new moon is connected here to some new beginnings, a new chapter in your area of career, your public life, your goals, your milestones overall for the future. So here we've got Mercury closely aligned with this new moon, which brings clarity here. Mercury can bring clarity about your next step, for example, your plans, the direction you're heading. Mercury is connected to communication, to contracts, meetings. So perhaps for some, this could indicate that perhaps you'll be engaged in some new project, perhaps some new opportunities in your career, public life may emerge. Maybe this could be about some important news. Venus is here as well, which also helps you with visibility, with generally positive feedback, positive energy. And we also have Mars here, and Mars gives you a lot of drive, ambition. Things are generally moving forward. This is a time when you might see that it's easier to make progress. Now, Jupiter is in opposition to this full moon on the other hand, and Jupiter generally helps you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We also have a sextile to Saturn in Pisces, which also helps you to kind of, whatever that you decide in relation to your career, your public life, anything to do with your goals, milestones, your legacy. It can have lasting outcomes and results as long as you are determined to put some work into it. Because here Saturn is connected to commitment, determination, and continuity overall. So it's a very interesting one, which could generally offer lots of different opportunities depending on your circumstances, but it could help you also align yourself with the direction that you're supposed to be heading. And on January 23rd, we've got Mars entering Aquarius. This is your 11th house, and Mars will stay here until the 2nd of March 2026. This is your area of friendships, your social circle, your dreams and hopes. So it's a busy transit overall, where generally you might find yourself socializing more, engaging in some networking activities. It's a great time for expanding your network, for experimenting with different groups if you're looking for your tribe. And this energy could also increase your leadership potentials, especially since Mars in Aquarius will connect with your Aries ascendant by a sextile. So it will strengthen yourself. It will boost your sense of self-esteem, self-confidence, self-assertion. This is also a kind of transit that can help you to make progress in reaching your goals, your objectives. So it's a very stimulating transit that is best used when working with others, teamwork, group activities, leading a project management, or alternatively here, networking, socializing. This is all very vivid. Now, on a different level here with Mars, something to watch out for with Mars in the 11th house is to generally watch your reactions. It's very easy to overreact to something that doesn't fully agree with our inner sense of self. So it's essential to keep this at the back of your mind. But other than that, on the 26th of January, we've got Neptune entering Aries. So Neptune enters Aries here, and this is happening in your first house. Of course, you had a little taste of this transit around April and October 2025. This is a huge transit, and you're beginning a brand new cycle. It's going to last over a decade. Saturn will join Neptune in February as well. So it's a very spiritually oriented, mystical energy, a major phase of self-discovery, spiritual awakening, a greater connection to the divine, to spirituality. And for many, this could also indicate this strong need to understand oneself on a deeper level. Generally, with Neptune being such a mystical planet, for many this could also manifest as perhaps a different interest in psychology. There's so much compassionate energy. I know I have a friend who's an Aries rising, so she started psychology studies with Neptune and Saturn transiting her first house last year, with Saturn also here, of course, coming in February. This is like a serious rebirth, serious rebirth, especially since as soon as Neptune enters Aries, it will connect with Pluto. It will be a connection with Uranus at some point in 2026 as well, with Saturn. So this is a major mystical awakening phase. And generally this transit is going to increase your intuition, and you will likely feel this shift immediately. All right, so I'll leave it here on this note. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful month, and let's have a look at Taurus. Hello, and welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. So here we start this a brand new month with Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing direct in the sign of Aries at 22 degrees. And this is happening in your 12th house. So 12th house energies bring a very different vibe to the other houses, especially the first house, the second house, for example. This is about your inner world. This is about the subconscious mind, patterns, and anything to do with fears, addictions, your inner world, and the hidden aspects of your light, any buried emotions, feelings as well. During this time, probably those initial weeks of January, you might suddenly feel that something that you've been unable to fully grasp might suddenly come up to the surface, allowing you to finally figure out, understand a certain behavioral pattern, emotional pattern that you've been experiencing. So there is this forward momentum, of course, with Chiron stationing direct. So think about all the lessons, experiences that perhaps you've been through in the last few months, especially connected to those hidden aspects of your psyche, fears, phobias, negative self-talk. If you felt stuck, if you were unable to break away from a certain habit or a negative cycle, Chiron stationing direct is going to help you to figure things out, and it will bring a much needed clarity as well. So this is a really powerful time for healing, for growth as well. And as we move forward on January the 3rd, there is a full moon happening in the sign of Cancer, and this full moon is at 13 degrees of Cancer. The third house deals with communication, our immediate environment, our community, anything to do with speech, thinking processes, short distance travel, our siblings, learning. This is more a house connected to more of a practical reality and mundane, I would say mundane. This is the word I was looking for, rather than something out of this world, so to speak. So that would be more the ninth house energy. But here with the full moon, so full moons are connected to culminations, turning points, breakthroughs. So here with the third house energy, very often communication is highlighted. Perhaps you might have to make an important decision regarding your work, for instance, maybe even your siblings. But with the third house, this often relates to matters connected to our business, our work. And here with Venus and Mars in opposition. This energy is about staying grounded in the reality, practical, and it's about focusing on the present moment, because these are short-term decisions that you are dealing with. You might be drifting away with your mind, wanting to kind of focus on things that perhaps are more exciting, but here this full moon wants you to take some time, take a day or two to focus on what needs to be dealt with at the time, something of a short term, like a short-term decision. Maybe this could be about receiving some important news. Maybe you're launching your blog or your podcast or your website. Anything to do with intellectual stimulation here is highlighted without a doubt. But at the same time, it could be about having this very honest conversations, because with Cancer is about feelings, emotions, and emotional stability, clarity. And with the sign of communication here, generally watch out for tendencies connected to being overly defensive, especially if someone doesn't see your point of view or disagrees with you. This full moon is generally best if you speak from a softer, more authentic place. Now, at the same time, the third house, yes, you could be traveling here. Full moons overall are about endings, conclusions, culminations, major breakthroughs. So it's all about here mental stimulation, communication, decisions as well that you will have to make, anything to do with writing, planning. Now, on the 18th, on the other hand, we've got Capricorn new moon happening at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So a late degree indicates a moment of urgency, and now we're never feeling as well sometimes. But here, this Capricorn new moon is happening in your ninth house. The ninth house is connected to foreign people, foreign travel, life direction as well, legal matters. So new moons are connected to new beginnings. So this new moon could be connected to perhaps you starting a new educational journey, engaging in activities connected to self-growth, development, whatever that you're interested in. Whether this is mindfulness, learning about something that is useful, digital marketing, perhaps this is what you need for your career, for your business, for example. Maybe you want to learn about how to be more minimalistic. Maybe you want to learn more about personal etiquette. Whatever it is, this is a time of growth, especially since you've got lots of support here. Mercury, Venus, Mars, they really, really support you. They support your vision, they motivate you, they help you to make progress. We've got a beautiful connection with Saturn, which brings structure, determination, commitment as well. Helps you see things from a larger perspective as well. This is also a good time for applying for a passport, visa. You might be dealing with legal matters. This is a time to take action overall, especially with so much stimulation in the air. And on January 23rd, Mars, the planet of action, drive, motivation, enters the sign of Aquarius, and this is your 10th house. So the 10th house deals with our public life, your outside world, career, professional life. And here with Mars in this area of your life, you can make very good progress in terms of reaching your objectives, milestones. It's a very proactive and productive time that generally can help you to make really good progress, especially when it comes to anything to do with your work, career related project, maybe anything to do with professional life related workshops, studies. With Mars in the 10th house, so you might also have opportunities for getting involved in some work, career related projects. New opportunities may come your way. Here with Mars in the 10th house, you might also channel more kind of independent, more confident energy. And with Mars here, yes, you become very independent. Independence is very strong here, but also this transit makes you more driven, more ambitious, and it gives you the necessary energy to achieve these important goals and milestones here in the public world, in the professional world as well. And on the 26th, Neptune enters Aries. So here we start this really long transit, which will last over a decade. For you, this is your your 12th house, so a very spiritual, mystical area of the chart. And of course, as soon as Neptune enters Aries, it will connect with Pluto. It will connect at some point around end of April, May with Uranus as well. So it's a very transformative time, a time of healing, spirituality, and greater understanding of oneself on a deeper level. Your intuition is likely to become stronger. This transit expands your creativity. For many, this could manifest even getting involved in healing work, coaching, and energy work. So it's a mystical, creative, spiritual transit overall. So thank you so much, Taurus. And let's have a look at Geminis. Geminis, welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. So here we start with Chiron moving into Aries, and this is happening on the 2nd of January at 22 degrees of Aries. Chiron, also called the wounded healer, has been retrograde in the last few months, which happens every single year. Just so you know, this is pretty much the final year of Chiron in Aries. Mid-2026, Chiron will begin to move into Taurus temporarily, more permanently from next year. This is your 11th house. This change of direction here really supports healing connected to friendships, groups, your belonging within groups, professional networks as well. This energy will help you move past any feelings of rejection or disappointment, also in connection to groups or friendships. If you've been feeling blocked socially, creatively, for example, if you've been dealing with your own internal blockages, if any memories, unhealed emotions came back connected to your friendship, social circle, things will start to move forward and you will be able to move forward yourself as well. This energy also helps you to reconnect with someone that you truly trust and care about. And at the same time, Chiron stationing direct also helps you to understand which connections are worth your energy and perhaps which aren't. And also this energy helps you to take a different approach to reaching some of your goals without feeling like you're not able to reach certain milestones. Chiron stationing direct could help you gain a different perspective or take a different approach. So then we got a full moon in Cancer happening on the 3rd of January. This full moon will be at 13 degrees of Cancer and it will take place in your 2nd house. So just to remind you, a full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs, and this is when the moon is fully visible in the sky. So what does it mean is that our intuition is heightened, our feelings, but this also, full moon also, it's like the full moon is fully visible in the sky. So wherever the full moon is active in our birth chart, this is when we also gain more clarity, more understanding. Things that were perhaps hidden are suddenly brought up to the surface. All right, so a full moon here and taking place. A full moon could generally be about some turning point in your financial situation. For some, this could manifest as some financial changes. Perhaps you're buying a car, or perhaps this could be about some shifts in your income situation. On a different level, for some, this could be about launching a business, and money will be on your mind, and it's a good time for budgeting, financial planning, for brainstorming. This full moon overall is about generally seeking more clarity, and perhaps this could be about also new ideas that could help you, or strategies that could help you to save more, earn more. Venus and Mars are in opposition to this full moon. They are in Capricorn, and here with Mercury in Capricorn as well, and this is all happening in the 8th house. So what this also tells me is that perhaps you might be finishing an important financial cycle. Maybe you will be renegotiating some financial arrangements, agreements during this time. But at the same time here, an opportunity may emerge, may arise as well, connected to a new source of income. Now on the 18th, on the other hand, we've got a new moon happening happening in the sign of Capricorn. So here new moons are connected to new beginnings, and this is when the sun and the moon are in the same sign at the same degree. Capricorn is an earth cardinal sign. Cardinal signs are action oriented because they begin each and every season. So this is happening in your 8th house. So first we have a full moon in the 2nd, and then we've got a new moon in the 8th house. So as you can see, there is a lot of emphasis this month upon your financial houses. So here, this is a very transformative new moon. Of course, new moons are connected to something fresh and new. And we've got Mercury, Venus, and Mars here circulating around this new moon. The 8th house is connected to taxes, inheritances, joint and shared resources, money that is not connected to your income. This is about investments, about refunds, bonuses, for example, and government schemes as well, taxes. So at the same time, we've got Jupiter in opposition to this full moon, and we've got a beautiful connection with Saturn as well. A beautiful connection with Saturn in Pisces, a sextile. So during this time, you might be involved in a new partnership. This could be related to an opportunity coming through someone else, because the 8th house is connected to other people, other people's resources, finances. So very often with so much going on in the 8th house, support and help comes through others. Maybe this could be about a new job prospect. Maybe this could be about a new financial opportunity coming up your way. So this is generally also an excellent time for starting a therapy session, coaching session, if you feel like this is something that could be very helpful at this time. So overall, this is a time of a personal transformation on a deeper level as well, because at the same time with new moon here, you can generally approach some more complex aspects of reality. And on the 23rd of January, Mars, the planet of action, motivation, passion, drive, enters Aquarius, where it will stay until the 2nd of March. This is happening in your 9th house. So here, Mars gives a lot of motivation. It's a very ambitious energy, which is great here for you, especially when it comes to studying, working towards some important educational milestones, assignments. And here, if you want to learn a foreign language, if you have to write a case study, if you need to apply for a passport, do so with Mars here, because this is when Mars gives you the push, the motivation to deal with something that perhaps otherwise might feel daunting. So with Mars in the 9th house, this is also when you might feel really inspired to travel, to book a trip. It's a good time for traveling, for engaging in activities that can help you to broaden your horizons, that can help you to spread your wings. And perhaps you will crave a little bit of adventure. Maybe you will feel like going to a theme park. There's a lot of adrenaline here with this transit, but also the need to release this energy. So perhaps public speaking or an opportunity may emerge for you to attend an important workshop, anything that could help you to grow and move forward with your life, with your goals. Now, for others, it could manifest as an opportunity to perhaps participate in some important conference as a speaker. So lots of different opportunities here, anything to do with larger audience, anything that gives you a potential to expand, to move forward with your goals, with your objectives as well. Now on the 26th, we've got Neptune entering Aries. So a massive transit of 2026, because Neptune will stay in Aries in your 11th house for the next over a decade. Let's put it this way, over a decade. So it's a really long transit in your area of relationships, and also your dreams and goals for the future are highlighted here as well. So this energy will most likely influence your vision for the future, your dreams, your goals, but also with Saturn coming here in February. This will also bring some shifts in your social circle, in your friendships, without a doubt. Now, under the influence of Neptune, you will likely attract very different people to your reality. With this energy, you seek deeper connections, you seek more soulful connections, and you want to belong to more meaningful social circles as well. And at the same time, this is under the influence of Saturn and Neptune. This is also about redefining what success, prosperity truly mean to you. Now, with Neptune, you might also feel like exploring some spiritual circles, groups, for example. Now, Saturn can shrink your social circle, as you will discover in next month's horoscopes, but at the same time, it can really show you who is your true friends. And this will be a really powerful transit that can really strengthen your important connections. So thank you very much, Geminis, and let's have a look at the next sign. Hello, Cancers, and welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. So here we start with Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing direct in the sign of Aries at 22 degrees, and this is happening on the 2nd of January. All right, so here, whenever a planet or a point or an asteroid stations direct from a retrograde motion, this is a forward momentum. This is when clarity returns in connection to what this planet or point or asteroid represents. So here, when Chiron was retrograde, any wounds, because this is happening in your 10th house, so any wounds connected to your career, ambitions, your milestones, anything to do with confidence in the public life, in the public world, the ability to stand up for yourself, they may have come to light. Now, with Chiron stationing direct, this is when you might feel a renewed sense of confidence, a greater ability to reach certain goals, maybe a different perspective on how to move forward with some goals, projects, ideas. Now, this energy, because it's connected to healing as well, it can help you heal some professional relationships. This energy can help you reclaim your sense of confidence and self-assertion in the area of public life, public world as well. Now, simultaneously, if you felt uncertain whether whatever that you're working with, whatever that where you moving towards, that it is it, then here you will get your answers also in the month of January. Now, as we move forward, there is a full moon in Cancer happening on the 3rd, so the day after Chiron stations direct in Aries, and this full moon is happening at 13 degrees of Cancer. Now, this is your first house, so this is huge. As we begin this brand new year, we've got a full moon in your sign, in your first house. So this is a very personal full moon. Think about what you started in this area of your life, in the area of the self, 18 months ago. So now whatever seeds you planted, they are now coming to light, fruition. Full moons bring endings, culminations. This is also connected to a change of direction, for example, as well. So expect some news and insights around anything to do with some contracts, anything to do with your goals, your objectives as well. Maybe you will have a need to reinvent yourself. Maybe this is connected to your physical appearance. Now, this full moon is in opposition to Mars, Venus in Capricorn in your 7th house. So for this reason, this full moon could also bring to light what is out of balance between yourself and your important relationships, whether you're giving too much and you're not receiving much in return, or perhaps vice versa. Overall, this full moon can help you see what is out of balance in your life, what's working, what isn't, what's draining your energies, whether these are some habits or some duties, responsibilities. This energy helps you resolve what is not working, what is holding you back. But at the same time, very often with a full moon in our first house, we need to make important decisions. This could be very much the case for you as well. But at the same time, this could be also connected to some opportunities coming your way. So whatever the scenario here with, and this is very personal full moon connected to a personal rebirth, and there's an opportunity to reinvent yourself. This is when generally the energies are centered around you, but also with the solar point in your seventh house, along with Mars and Venus. This is when generally here other people might play an important role in your life. This is connected to one-to-one connections. So perhaps you might be signing some contracts, having some important conversation with someone close to your heart. And this full moon brings the much needed clarity. Now, Chiron is also direct at this point as well. All right, so here, let's move forward and have a look at the Capricorn new moon, on the other hand, happening on the 18th. So as you can see, this month is overall about you and about others, so one-to-ones more specifically, and to a certain degree of career, public life as well, with Chiron and Neptune here influencing that area of your life, which we'll cover in a moment. So here, new moons are connected to new beginnings. This is happening at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So here, that late degree of illumination often indicates a moment, a feeling of urgency, running out of time. Now, new moons are connected to new beginnings, something new, a new connection, perhaps a new client, contract, for example, you will be signing. So some new beginnings in connection to your relationships, whether platonic, business, personal, this will depend on your circumstances. But we also have lots of alignments here, because at this point, Mercury, Mars, and Venus are also in Capricorn. So there's a lot going on, these one-to-ones, and in January for you. Jupiter in opposition here, which can bring opportunities for expansion, some new possibilities as well for growth. Maybe you'll be working with another person on a mutual project. Maybe this could be about a collaboration. Saturn connects beautifully by a sextile to this new moon, which also supports. Generally, it brings a lot of supportive energy, helps you to stay determined, helps you to get through to the end. And it also helps you to kind of stay grounded in the reality as well. So as you can see, January marks a new chapter in your one-to-ones. And on January 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius, and Mars will stay here until the 2nd of March. The 8th house deals with transformation, regeneration, deep and profound healing, emotional energies as well. With Mars in the 8th house could indicate this really strong and deep need for change, for transformation. With Mars here, Mars helps you to see what's working and what isn't working in your life, what's in alignment, what's out of alignment. So perhaps this could be a time when you might be completely shifting, changing things in the sphere of finances in your household and joint finances. This energy could also make you really motivated to invest your money, perhaps in the stock market. Mars helps you to make progress. Mars brings a lot of aggressive, sometimes even energy, a lot of drive and motivation. This is also a time when you might feel very passionate. This sort of transit brings a greater need for intimacy as well, lots of sexual energy. So overall, Mars here can increase your sexual desires. It might also make you want to connect with another on a deeper soul-like level. And at the same time, with Mars here, generally the transits in the 8th house make us think more about mortality, our own death. So Mars here might also push you to make some profound changes that are affecting your health or life. And here we've got this Martian stimulation to implement these big shifts in your life. And we end the month with Neptune moving into Aries, a big event of 2026. We had a little taste of this transit back in 2025 between April and October. In 2026, this energy is much more profound. So here, Neptune moving into Aries, this is your 10th house. This transit will last over a decade, and as Neptune enters Aries, it will form a supportive energy aspect with Pluto at some point in Uranus, with Uranus and Saturn, of course, conjunction. So this is the beginning of a long-term journey when you will, generally, this is about aligning your career with a greater meaning. So with Saturn and Neptune in your 10th house, this is when generally whatever that you do professionally, or perhaps whatever ambitious plans you have for yourself, they need to align with your inner sense of self. If it's purely for money, if it's purely for prosperity, then it's not going to bring fulfillment. If it's not going to bring any kind of deeper satisfaction. And this is really, really a big deal. A really big deal, because in order to stay motivated, proactive, you need to do something here in terms of your career, your public life, your legacy, that has a deeper meaning. This is the main message for this transit. But at the same time, this transit could also make you question your purpose, your life purpose on this plane of existence, in this current reality. This transit brings a lot of intuitive energy as well, a strong need to help others as well, to get involved in some projects that could help humanity. This could be very much the case as well for you. Thank you very much, Cancers, and let's have a look at Leos. Hello, Leos, and welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. This month we start with Chiron, the wounded healer, the asteroid turning direct in Aries at 22 degrees. This is happening on the 2nd of January. So as soon as we start this brand new year, we've got Chiron changing direction and waking up from a long sleep. So this is happening in your 9th house. And here, the 9th house is really active this year for you, because you also have Saturn here and Neptune. And this indicates here with Chiron changing direction that your worldviews will be changing quite significantly this year. And here, if you have felt uncertain, confused, or even discouraged about your life direction, about your purpose, this transit, this energy will bring much needed clarity, much needed healing, motivation, and much needed renewal that may influence you to travel, that may influence you to relocate. Maybe here, when Saturn comes here, there could be opportunities for working for an international organization. For example, Chiron's direct motion overall can really help you reconnect with what truly matters to you, can really help you reconnect with a greater meaning of your life, of your existence. It can help you to shift away, to move away from any limiting beliefs, limiting perspectives. The 9th house is about opening up to the world, opening up to new perspectives as well. And here with Saturn and Neptune in this area of your life this year, you will experience this major shift. So that's Chiron. Now on the 3rd, we've got a full moon at 13 degrees of Cancer. Full moons occur when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs. The moon is fully visible in the sky, and this is the middle cycle of the lunar cycle at 13 degrees in your 12th house. So here, the 12th house is connected to the subconscious patterns, the private aspects of our life, but also anything that's hidden beneath the surface. So any fears, negative talk, limiting beliefs even. So with the 12th house energy, of course, creativity is amazing for self-healing, for self-soothing. This is a very introspective full moon that may make you feel like you want to withdraw and contemplate, reflect. Even for a day, really try to find some time for yourself. It's really important, because it's very easy to get drained, discouraged, demotivated if you just generally forget about yourself and you purely dedicate your energy towards work, towards other people. With a full moon in the 12th house, you absorb other people's energies very, very easily. So it's really important to be on your own. Stay on your own, even if it means just taking a bath, to relax, detox. You really need to recharge yourself during this time, and during those soulful and a long time solitude, you not only recharge, but you also gain clarity about things that are on your mind or have been on your mind. And at the same time, with this full moon, this is when you can really recharge. So spending time in nature, taking a nice bath, doing things that help you recharge, if it's coloring, mindfulness, yoga, whatever it is, this is your annual emotional detox. So really take care of your physical body, of your mind, of your emotional well-being, so that you're ready for the Aquarius season, which will feel much more energizing. All right, so then we've got Capricorn new moon on the 18th, happening at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So here a new moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the same sign at the same degree. So we are starting here a brand new cycle with this new moon happening at 28 degrees. As you probably already know, the 28th degree is a late degree, which indicates this feeling of urgency, and sometimes we feel like we need to attend to a certain matter, we need to start this project before it's too late. This is your 6th house, so this is all about your lifestyle, this is about your routine, this is about your day-to-day duties, activities. Anything out of balance will become visible, because Capricorn is all about order and structure and discipline, commitment, and an amazing new moon for implementing new structures into your daily life that can help you to stay more proactive. And you can generally restructure your life during this time. Let go of what doesn't serve you. This is a good time for taking better care of your health, of your physical body. So maybe a new diet, exercise regime. This is a fantastic time for starting these new projects connected to your physical body, to your health, to your daily lifestyle as well. You've got Saturn and the ruler of this new moon connecting to this new moon by a beautiful sextile, which really helps with determination, commitment. We also have Jupiter in opposition. So lots of energies that are very supportive, that can help you to start a new health routine, that can help you to start a new project. Maybe you're starting a new job. So whatever the scenario, this is a really, really powerful new moon for taking action, for making progress. And on the January 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius, where it will stay until the 2nd of March. So Mars in Aquarius, that's your 7th house. So that's the area of relationships, connections, one-to-one relationships overall, whether these are platonic, whether these are business or intimate. 7th house deals with all sorts of one-to-one connections, business, client, romantic, or perhaps some really, really close friendships. Mars in the 7th house can make you much more energetic, much more assertive, maybe even much more dynamic in one-to-one interactions with others. It can, on the one hand, lead to a much heightened passion, connection, but on a different level, it can also lead to conflict, especially if this energy is not balanced in a healthy way. At the same time, this energy can also make you more focused, because of course Mars is the planet of drive, motivation, courage. Generally, the driven energy is directed into these one-to-one connections, relationships, contracts. So you might put a lot of focus and attention into these one-to-one connections. If you're, for example, building a business connected to building these one-to-ones, this transit can motivate you and push you to make good progress during this time. This transit can also push you to make changes in your relationship, in your marriage. If something is out of balance, if things are not the way they should be, here with Mars, you've got this amazing opportunity to change whatever needs to be changed. However, really watch out for any conflicts. It's very easy to get into a conflict, especially if we are too forceful, if we are too pushy. So here, make sure you manage this energy as constructively as you can, because any heated discussions need to be handled with compromise, with understanding, in order to avoid conflict. We end the month with Neptune entering Aries on January 26th. That's your 9th house. Yet again, the 9th house is activated, where Chiron is still staying here for another year or so, even though mid-2026 Chiron will enter Taurus temporarily. But here with Neptune entering Aries, this as I mentioned earlier, will definitely bring these mental shifts when it comes to your belief system, when it comes to your life philosophy. Maybe this could be about also starting brand new studies connected to that Neptune energy, which is related to art, creativity, but also spirituality. Maybe you will become a spiritual coach during this time. Maybe you might develop a greater interest in mental health as well. So generally, whatever the scenario, you've got over a decade or a very soulful, a very inspired path for you. This note, I wish you a wonderful month, and let's have a look at Virgos. Virgos, welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. So here we start this brand new month with Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing direct in the sign of Aries at 22 degrees. Chiron has been retrograde for the last few months. When an asteroid, a planet, stations direct from a retrograde motion, this is like waking up from a very, very long sleep. So generally, Chiron here regains its strength and energy. This is happening in your 8th house, the house of depth, the house of debts as well, healing, emotional, financial entanglements, generally intimacy as well, deep connections, relationships overall. So here, if let's say over the last few months you've been dealing with, perhaps if you've been trying to overcome any deep emotional or financial burdens, if you've been also generally trying to move away from or heal certain emotional fears or blockages, unhealed emotions as well. So now with Chiron stationing direct, this is when you can start to see the results of your hard effort, a sense of empowerment, a sense of feeling more at peace, more safe even. On the 3rd, so the day after Chiron stations direct, we've got a full moon in Cancer. And this full moon is happening at 13 degrees of Cancer. So a full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs. And this is the beginning of this brand new lunar cycle. All right, so this is happening in your 11th house. So your friendships, your community, your social network, and your hopes and dreams and goals for the future. This is the area that's highlighted during this full moon. So we've got an opposition here to Venus and Mars in Capricorn in your 5th house. So generally during this time, because full moons often bring to light what was hidden, what wasn't fully understood, this full moon could bring to light clarity about a certain friendship connection in your life. This could be connected to a brand new beginning or perhaps an ending to a certain association or some kind of group belonging. Generally, this full moon is like a reality check. This full moon helps you understand who belongs in your reality and who doesn't, who drains your energies, who holds you back. This is also a wake-up call in terms of your dreams and hopes and goals for the future as well. With Venus and Mars in the 5th house, this is also when you might find inspiration through others, through groups, through some group involvement, or perhaps an opportunity to work in a group surrounding, in a group environment could show up around this time. So generally this full moon highlights your involvement, your belonging within certain groups, associations, for example, but it could also reveal something that perhaps we weren't fully aware of, a certain friendship connection in your life. It's a good full moon also for generally looking for analyzing your goals, objectives for the upcoming 12 months, since this is a January full moon, so a great time for looking at a bigger picture as well in terms of your long-term dreams, goals, hopes for the future. On the 18th Capricorn, there's a Capricorn new moon happening at 28 degrees, so a late degree of a new moon indicates here that's moment of feeling of urgency, running out of time, for example. New moons are connected to new beginnings, new objectives. This is a cardinal new moon, which is action oriented. Capricorn is connected to order, structure, discipline. This is happening in your 5th house. So you might be starting a new journey, perhaps in This could be about a new passion, new interest, new project, perhaps a new freelancing opportunity. Perhaps you'll be starting a new project within your business, or you might be working on this brand new idea. Now, whatever the scenario here, we've got Venus, Mercury, Mars here circulating around this new moon, which can help you to make progress, which can feel very inspiring as well. This could also be connected to perhaps a new romantic connection. This could be connected to your children being very much involved, very much prominent in your life around this time. Now, whatever the scenario here with this fifth house, which is connected to joy and happiness, a sense of fulfillment in some way as well. I've got a beautiful connection to Saturn, the ruler of this new moon, by a beautiful sextile, which also helps you with generally staying determined, with staying committed to this project, goal, idea, whatever that comes up around this time. At the same time, this energy can also help you shine. Now, on the 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius, where it will stay until the 2nd of March. So, and another important transit of January 2026. Aquarius, this is your 6th house. The 6th house deals with everyday life, everyday reality, your work, your lifestyle, your health. 6th house Mars transit is great for exercising, for a physical activity. With Mars in the 6th house, Mars in the 6th house can speed up our metabolism. You might also find yourself craving spicy foods more often than usual. Chili, jalapenos, this sort of vibes. Curry, spicy curry. Now with the 6th house here, it's a very, very stimulating time. So you might also find yourself dealing with lots of different duties, tasks, responsibilities, having to reach certain deadlines in a short amount of time. So it's essential that you plan your calendar, your schedule wisely in order to make sure that you reach all the deadlines, that you don't run out of time. Because with Mars in the 6th house, it's easy to also reach a point of burnout if we don't balance out the energies effectively, efficiently. So keep this in mind. And on the 26th, Neptune enters Aries. So huge event of 2026. Saturn will join Neptune in February, and here this is your 8th house. So it's a transit that will last over a decade, and it activates long healing journey around matters connected to trust, vulnerability, intimacy. This is a very psychologically deep transit as well. For some, this could manifest as careers in psychology, psychotherapy, anything to do with mental health, careers as well. Or perhaps it might be that you will be seeking help, guidance for yourself if this is something that you've been delaying. This transit offers this amazing opportunity for a deeper healing, spiritual healing, deeper emotional understanding of yourself. Here, these energies, along with Saturn, can also make you think more about afterlife and death and mortality as well. It can make you think about the old age. And this is also when your inner world begins to transform really deeply. So thank you so much, Virgos. Have a wonderful month, and let's have a look at the next sign. Hello, Libras, and welcome to your January 2025 monthly horoscope. So here we start this brand new month and brand new year with Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing direct at 22 degrees of Aries. All right, so this is happening in your 7th house. Your 7th house is active, very active this year. Of course, Neptune will come here at the end of January as well. Saturn in February. So lots of shifts happening in this area of your life. This is the area of relationships, your marriage, or any contracts you have with other people. And this is generally your clients. This could be your landlord. This could be your very close friend. This could be your business partner. So we are looking at these one-to-one connections. Chiron is an asteroid, and it has been retrograde in the last few months. It stations direct on the 2nd at 22 degrees of Aries. So this is a reset healing phase for your relationships, one-to-one relationships overall. Something that has felt stuck, on hold, in these one-to-one dynamics, unclear, maybe painful, now is beginning to move forward. If you've been wondering where you're heading with a certain connection, relationship in your life, this change of direction of Chiron will help you to regain the clarity you may have lacked. At the same time, Chiron stationing direct, it kind of lifts that emotional confusion, emotional fog that perhaps was present here in the area of relationships, in the area of one-to-one connections in the recent past. At the same time, if anything in these one-to-ones that felt slightly uncertain, it's now will begin to make more sense. All right, so then on the 3rd, the day after Chiron stations direct, we've got a full moon in Cancer happening at 13 degrees of Cancer. So a full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs. This is the middle of the lunar cycle, and here full moons tend to reveal what was hidden, what wasn't fully understood. This is your 4th house. Now coming back to Chiron, this is an opportunity to heal all the wounds within one-to-one connections, one-to-one relationships. If you have felt stuck in a certain commitment, collaboration, partnership, this Chiron now turning direct brings that forward momentum and much needed clarity as well. Now, on the other hand, there's a full moon in Cancer happening at 13 degrees in your 10th house. So here, full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs. This is when the moon is fully illuminated in the sky. Very often during a full moon, we become much clearer regarding a situation concerning the full moon influence. This is your public life, your outside world, your career, professional life, path development. So the 10th house generally illuminate this area of your life. Very often with the full moon in this house, we feel more visible, we feel more recognized, we feel more appreciated because the full moon energy increases our visibility overall. This could be a really important turning point in your career. A moment of some good feedback, recognition, opportunity coming your way. Maybe if you've been trying to get a job that you applied for recently, you might finally hear some news. At the same time, the full moons here often also reveal what's out of balance, what is out of alignment. You might be questioning your direction, especially if you feel like you are unsure whether this is it. This full moon is amazing for helping you gaining clarity regarding your future, regarding your path, regarding your career path, or your generally ambitions and objectives here in connection to your public life and career as well. This is a chance to generally for stepping into what feels authentic to you. Now, on the 18th, on the other hand, there is a Capricorn new moon. So as you can see, the area of career and the home area are very much influenced, highlighted during the month of January. And Capricorn new moon happening at 28 degrees. A late degree very often makes us more impatient, makes us want to take something off the ground, something that perhaps you've been delaying. So here, an opportunity for some new beginnings in your area of home, renovations, or bringing more structure to your home. And this is a great time for those new beginnings, for bringing more stability, whether this is a new piece of furniture, a new piece of art, whether this is perhaps a renovation plan, some new beginnings within your family, maybe a new family member, a new family addition, for example. So whatever the scenario here, you might be also signing some important agreements, contracts. This is about establishing long-term stability in this area of your life. We've got Mars here, we've got Mercury, Venus, so lots of energies are centered around your home, emotional area of your life, which is actually a great time for dedicating some energy into implementing something fresh and new, something that can bring long-term stability and comfort. But at the same time, we also have a beautiful trine to Saturn, the ruler of this new moon, and opposition to Jupiter in Cancer. So generally, some home-related projects, renovations finally move forward. So there is something that finally takes a positive turn, like a happy ending kind of thing. Now, on the 23rd, we've got Mars moving into Aquarius. So this is your area of the fifth house, so the area of children, the romantic side of your life. This is the area of hobbies, interests, self-expression, freelancing. So Mars brings a lot of energizing energy, can help you to make good progress in your work, especially here if you are a freelancer, if you have your own business. Mars will bring a lot of motivation, eagerness to push forward no matter what. A great time for engaging in what you're passionate about. Mars is a very passionate planet and dynamic. So here, generally, Mars brings a lot of independence. Mars could also indicate that perhaps there could be quite a lot going on if you have small children. Perhaps they might be more demanding than usual, do some things differently, maybe some shift in your parenting style or some new routines for your children, clubs, after school clubs. You might be considering some of these around January, February as well. And overall, it's a really good time for focusing on what brings you joy, happiness, hobbies, new projects, goals, ideas. This is also a very prominent time for dating, with the fifth house being connected to romance and love. And on the 26th, we've got Neptune moving into Aries. And with Neptune and Aries, this is a time with Neptune and Aries. Your seventh house is activated, so the area of love, relationships, contracts. And this is a very long-lasting energy because it will last over a decade. This is a massive transformation in how you relate to others. So this transit brings a big shift in terms of how you see yourself in a relationship, how you give and receive love. During this time, you will also likely attract different kind of people into your life. You will seek more soul-like connections with others. You will attract people who are artistic or musicians, but at the same time, one of the main key elements of this transit is boundaries. Learning to maintain healthy boundaries with others, because you will also attract people that might drain your energy and might not be good for you. So for this reason, you need to be mindful of who you allow in your life, in your energy field, because not all connections will be beneficial for your growth, for your life. So here, this is a really transformative transit, and I'll leave it here for now. Thank you very much, Libras. And let's explore Scorpio now. Scorpio, welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. So here we start with Chiron. Chiron, the wounded healer, is going to turn direct on the 2nd of January at 22 degrees. And here with Chiron moving direct, this is going to be happening in your 6th house. So this is the area of your lifestyle, your everyday life, everyday routine, anything to do with your work environment, your relationship with coworkers as well, which of course Chiron can bring a lot of healing, can help you resolve any misunderstandings, can help you to reconnect with people that perhaps you may have drifted away from for one reason or another. So especially people that you really care about. So Chiron brings a potential for healing, reconnection, but also Chiron here offers this amazing opportunity for implementing all the lessons that you went through in the last few months or even years since Chiron entered Aries, connected to self-criticism, especially when it comes to your ability to be productive. So here Chiron will generally push you to redefine your daily reality so that you can feel more fulfilled with things are on daily basis. What's beneficial, what isn't, what drains your energy, what makes you unproductive overall. Now, this transit can also generally indicate some major breakthroughs in how you manage your daily responsibilities, duties. This energy is also about prioritizing your health, your well-being, and having a more balanced lifestyle or diet as well. Now, on the 3rd, we've got a full moon in Cancer happening at 13 degrees of Cancer. A full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs. This is the middle of the lunation cycle, and this is happening in your 9th house, the house associated with foreign places, foreign matters, anything to do with your life purpose, anything to do with higher education, legal matters as well. and astrology. And full moons generally bring to light what was hidden, what wasn't fully understood. And this area generally highlights also your belief systems. There is a shift of energy taking place overall, most likely, when it comes to your perception of reality. Your worldviews might be changing around this time. But this could also indicate the end of a major educational journey, a turning point. This is a time when you might see, it's a very emotional but also a very intellectual full moon. So it could see you launching a business, a coaching business, for example. Perhaps you'll be completing a major phase in your astrology journey, studies, if you will. Maybe this could be also about finally getting your citizenship or a passport, visa sorted, for example. This is about dreaming big. It's not about limiting yourself. It's about spreading your wings, expanding your potential as well, engaging in workshops, activities that can help you grow. Now, on the 18th, we've got a Capricorn new moon. So a new moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the same sign, the same degree. So this is the beginning of a new lunar cycle in your third house. The third house deals with communication, travel, learning. And here we've got lots of planets around this new moon. There is Mercury, there is Venus, there is Mars. So there is so much happening that learning, engaging in intellectually stimulating activities is definitely something that is a positive thing to do, because your mind will be very active, very stimulated. You might be traveling around this time. You might be having some important conversations, interviews. Perhaps this could be about dealing with some important contracts, some important projects. Generally, there is a huge emphasis upon communication and your mind and anything to do with decisions as well. Now, the ruler of this moon is Saturn, which connects with this new moon by a sextile. So all these positive alignments also help with things just evolving naturally, authentically, in a grounded way. And on the 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius. So that's your fourth house. An amazing time here throughout the end of January, throughout February for reorganizing your home space, for renovating what needs to be renovated. And maybe you will be converting your attic into a living space. For example, Aquarius is an earth sign, so we are looking at generally at upper parts of the house. So I would say the attic would be one of them. Now, this could see also renovating your house. It's a good time for DIYs. So lots of energy here is usually invested in the area of home, and Mars transits this area of your life. But you could also, it's a good time for gardening, for clearing your space, for finding comfort, for perhaps installing some technology at your home, or getting a new TV or something else connected to technology overall, electronic devices. Now, at the same time, with the fourth house energy and Mars being the planet of war, sometimes the energy, the ambience in the house becomes a battleground. So it's generally easy to get triggered by some little domestic occurrences. So perhaps if you feel triggered, try to release the excess of energy on doing something physical or productive at your home. All right, so on January 26th, we've got Neptune entering Aries, and Neptune will stay here for over a decade. We have a little taste of this transit back in 2025 between April and October. So think about what came up, what showed up during that time. But with Neptune here, with Neptune in the 6th or in the 10th, whatever that we do connected to our work, it needs to be in connection to our inner sense of self. It needs to have a purpose. It needs to have a meaning. This is one of the important aspects of this transit. Generally, dedicating your time and energy on something that has a meaning. Even your routine will have to kind of align with your deeper sense of self. So this isn't about wasting your time, because with Neptune in the 6th house, it's very easy to waste your energy and waste your time, because Neptune is connected to chaos as well. So there's that association with Pisces. With Pisces on the 6th house, it's difficult to be organized or in some parts of daily reality. So it doesn't come naturally, but with Neptune we can get the same effect. So while Saturn stays here for the initial 2 years, it's essential to develop a structured routine so that you don't struggle when Saturn relieves this area. And generally Neptune dissolves anything that has fulfilled its purpose, but old structures, basically old structures. So this transit will see you restructuring your routine, your lifestyle. And at the same time, this is also about changing your diet. So lots of transformative energies here to the routine, to our routine, to your routine, to your work. But right, so thank you very much, and I wish you a productive month, and let's have a look at Sagittarius. Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. So here we start this month with Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing direct in Aries at 22 degrees, and this is happening in your 5th house. All right, so here the 5th house is connected to creativity, romance, children, freelancing, self-employment, and conception, family planning. Chiron has been retrograde for the last few months, and during that time you may have faced certain lessons, unhealed wounds, emotions connected to your wounded inner child, because of course the 5th house is also associated with our inner child. This energy is also here to help you overcome any fears connected to expressing yourself freely, authentically as well. This transit is also about reconnecting with your inner sense of self, with what brings you joy and fun. I think it would be a good time around the early days of January to engage in some kind of creative activity that you truly, truly enjoy, whether this is painting, it could be puzzles, for example. I think when Chiron station is direct, in order to really kind of take advantage of this energy, it's really essential to reconnect with something that brings you that sense of joy, passion, hobby, interest. And there is a full moon happening in the sign of Cancer, and it's happening at 13 degrees of Cancer. A full moon occurs when the moon and the sun are in the opposing signs. So here the moon is fully illuminated in the sky. So this also indicates that whatever was hidden is now coming to light. Not everything, but especially connected to where this full moon is happening. What area of life it illuminates? It illuminates your 8th house, so the area of shared and joint resources, and the area of transformation, regeneration. So we've got an opposition to Venus and Mars in Capricorn in your 2nd house at this time, which could bring some financial clarity, especially regarding any investments you may have, any short and joint resources, debts, for example. This full moon can also help you resolve any issues in your important relationship, especially if those issues were connected to trust, control, or vulnerability. Full moons are connected to a release. This is a point of a release in a way. So here, during this time, this energy helps you to release any patterns connected to control or dominance, or perhaps power struggles, vulnerability. So that's the full moon. Then on the 18th, we have a new moon in the sign of Capricorn at 28 degrees. So a late degree here indicates that feeling of urgency, running out of time sort of vibe as well. And this is happening in your area of self-worth, self-esteem, money. So of course it's the opposite, the 8th house. So it's all about money that you earn through your own efforts, through your own skills. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are here as well. So this area of life will be full, absolutely full. So money is on your mind in January without a doubt. And this could be connected to some important financial decisions you might be making. For some, this could manifest as this really, really strong need for shopping, going shopping and spending money. So be mindful of your outgoings, especially if money is currently tight. And at the same time, what I also wanted to mention is that This new moon is connected to new beginnings. So new beginnings related to your finances, to your income situation. Maybe you're starting a new job, or you're launching a new business or a side hustle. Maybe generally you're implementing some changes into how you manage your finances. For example, maybe here throughout the month of January, you will be changing your bank, moving to a different provider, for instance. We've got Jupiter here activated in Cancer in the 8th house, and we also have a sextile to Saturn, the ruler of this new moon, which also is like a green light from the universe, which helps with stability, continuity as well. Now on the 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius. So here, Aquarius, this is your 3rd house. Communication and mental stimulation is highlighted. With Mars in the 3rd house, there is a lot going on. Generally, what happens usually, Mars in the 3rd house transits, is that we learn a lot, we communicate, we deal with lots of mentally stimulating projects, emails, messages. Maybe this could be about, depending on your career, on your work, on what you do, maybe this could be about content creation, social media, for example. Maybe this could be about engaging in some community activity, PTA at your school, for instance. Mars gives a lot of eagerness, a lot of motivation as well, drive, movement, progress. It's a good time for making progress. Watch out when driving, because Mars here can make you speed even without realizing, which will result in getting a fine. And at the same time, be mindful when working with sharp objects, especially since the 3rd house is traditionally associated with Gemini energy, our hands. So when working with your hands and sharp objects, be careful, focus, because if you drift away with your mind, you might injure yourself or just cut yourself. Also, make sure you display your parking ticket when you park. All right, so we end the month with January with Neptune entering Aries, and this is happening on the 26th. This transit will last over a decade. We had a little taste of this transit back in 2025 that's when Neptune was in Aries, so that's your 5th house. And with Neptune in Aries, this is a long-term transit in the area of creativity, romance, children. This transit can make you more idealistic, mystical about love partners, about what love means to you on a deeper level. And with Neptune brings a lot of creative, passionate energy. The issue that I experienced with Neptune here is boundaries, especially here when it comes to parenting children. Here, that was a big deal, which really became more prominent when Saturn came to Pisces. So here you will have Saturn, you will have Neptune. So generally that lack of boundaries will become prominent. Here Saturn will help you to create clearer boundaries. And overall, this transit will also, it could change your interests. It could make you drawn into more creative, more mystical activities, maybe writing, maybe poetry. And all right, so I'll leave it here for today. Thank you very much, Sagittarius. Have a wonderful month ahead. And let's have a look at Capricorn. Hello, Capricorns, and welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. So here we start with Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing direct in the sign of Aries at 22 degrees. So this is happening in your 4th house. The 4th house deals with your emotional well-being, safety, security, stability, but also, of course, your home, family. And so with Chiron stationing direct here, this is when healing can occur in the area of your home, in the area of your family, in the area of your emotional well-being. This is a time when you might be ready to resolve certain dynamics, issues with a family member or generally within your family, some domestic tensions that have been an ongoing issue for quite some time. So here, Chiron stationing direct brings this amazing opportunity for not only healing your relationships with others here, with family members, but also for healing any emotions and memories from the past, to give you more confidence, to help you to stay more grounded. Now on January the 3rd, we've got a full moon in the sign of Cancer, so that's your 7th house. And overall throughout January, we've got the 1st and the 7th house activated, and this is because of the lunations, of course. And here with the full moon in your 7th house, so here full moons are connected to that major momentum, strong realization, breakthrough. This is happening in your area of partnerships, relationships, one-to-one connections and unions. We've got this full moon in the sign of Cancer. Mercury, Venus and Mars are all in Capricorn here in your 1st house. This full moon brings into light any imbalance in your one-to-one connections, relationships. Anything out of alignment will become more visible, more noticeable. This is also a chance for a resolution of any tension, miscommunication in your love life, in your business, relationships, for example. This full moon is overall about authenticity, clarity. Perhaps you might be signing an important contract. There could be an opportunity that may emerge around this time as well for a collaboration, for instance, for a new client. So this will depend on your circumstances, but here we are dealing with one-to-one connections. Full moons act as a point of release, culmination. So whether you are ending a chapter in your important relationship, moving to the next, or perhaps whether you are starting a new client relationship, this will depend on where you're at this time. But overall here, these one-to-one dynamics are very much highlighted here, and it's about standing in your power overall. The Capricorn new moon happening at 28 degree of Capricorn, and this is your 1st house. So here, new moon in the 1st house is connected to your new beginnings related to your persona, to your identity, to your goals. It's like a personal annual rebirth in a way. We've got some really beautiful alignment because at this time, Venus, Mercury, Mars are all in your 1st house. We've got an opposition to Cancer in your 7th house and a sextile to Saturn, the ruler of this new moon. So with a beautiful connection to Saturn, a planet of structure, discipline, order, stability here, your ruler, your chart ruler, and the ruler of this new moon, this helps you to stay productive. This helps you to stay determined and proactive with the goal idea that comes into light at this time. So it's a wonderful time for setting intentions related to your life direction, to your goals, to your career. But at the same time, Saturn's influence here, Saturn urges taking a sober, practical, realistic approach when it comes to whatever that you are initiating or considering around this time. Overall, during this time, you might experience a greater sense of confidence, visibility as well, with so many energies centered around your area of the self. So opportunities for growth and development, career advancements could come up around this time without a doubt. And then we've got on the 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius. So that's your 2nd house, where it will stay until the 2nd of March. This is a big deal because the 2nd house is connected to your income situation, to money, resources, the money that you earn through your own skills and efforts. So with Mars entering this area of your life, this energy gives a big boost to your financial area of your life. So here, this energy brings progress as well. So any money that was delayed, taking forever to be deposited in your bank account, finally receive this big push. This energy brings a lot of confidence as well when it comes to achieving your financial goals, objectives. So for those who work in sales, for example, this transit can be really positive because it gives you that eagerness, motivation, drive, but just watch out for not coming across too pushy, too forceful. It's all about the balance here with this energy. With Mars here, you might also see the way this could manifest as well. Sometimes this could also manifest as generally this strong need to spend money. So here, if you're not conscious and if you don't kind of are aware of where the money is going, then it might be very easy to spend more than you realize. It's essential to watch these dynamics. But overall, Mars in the 2nd house, really good transit for making progress in the financial sector of our life or chart. And this energy gives us the massive boost. It helps us to make progress in our career. If you have your own business, it brings motivation. It could increase your sales as well. And on the 26th, Neptune enters Aries. So here with Neptune and Aries, that's your fourth house. We had a little taste of this energy in 2025 between April and October. So if you remember what kind of mystical energies came up here, this will give you a slight understanding of what you might expect in the next 10 years, even over the next decade. But here in your fourth house, this energy brings a lot of intuitive energy into your domestic life. And sometimes with Neptune transiting the fourth house, we feel slightly misaligned with our roots. So for some, this could manifest as a need to find a place that feels like home. So you might be longing for this place that perhaps you don't know where it is yet, but there is this need to connect to a place that feels like home, that you can call your home. Now with Neptune here, your taste when it comes to interior design might change completely. You might crave different colors of your furniture, of your walls. Perhaps you might feel like you want to make your space more spiritual, more creative even. Perhaps for some, this could also manifest as having their own art studio at their home. It's a very creative energy that will have to be released in one way or another. So for you, this could be starting a hobby at your home or completely rearranging your home space to make it more mystical, perhaps with lighter colors, for instance. Of course, we've got Saturn here in the initial 2 years of this transit. So Saturn brings colder energy, brings the need for structure, for grounding yourself. So we'll explore these dynamics more in depth another time. In the meantime, have a great month and let's have a look at the next sign. Hello Aquarius and welcome to your January 2026 monthly horoscope. We start with Chiron, the wounded healer, turning direct on the 2nd of January at 22 degrees of Aries. So here, this is happening in your third house that deals with communication, social interactions, or your thought processes as well. So here with Chiron stationing direct in this area of your life, this energy can help you to let go, release any negative habits, energies that block your ability to move forward. So here with Chiron moving direct, you might feel a new flow of clarity, especially in how you communicate, in how you express yourself. Now, if you've been working on your communication style, if you've been working on your writing abilities, then here these lessons, experiences you've been through in the last few months will begin to show some really positive outcomes. This could mean that you'll become more confident with your writing style, with your communication style. Maybe this is connected to a greater confidence when it comes to driving, working with your hands, even if this is something you've been dealing with. So this is a moment of healing, of finally like a payoff of any hard work you may have implemented in the area of communication, learning. Now here, Chiron can also help you heal some important connection in your life. It can help you reclaim peace. All right, so here then we've got a full moon in Cancer happening on the 3rd of January at 13 degrees of Cancer. That's your 6th house. The 6th house deals with your daily life, daily routine, your lifestyle, your health, any illnesses as well. So full moons usually reveal what was hidden, what wasn't fully clear. This is when you might be having health checkups, medical appointments. Full moons are not good for having any surgeries or treatments. They tend to increase blood loss. I'm not a medical practitioner, I must admit, but this is just what the full moon often indicates and brings. If you are recovering from a surgery, the full moon is the peak of the healing process. After the full moon, the healing process tends to speed up. Now, a full moon here during this time, you might be dealing with major deadlines. Usually full moons, they can generally increase adrenaline. There's usually quite a lot going on, but this full moon can also show you what's blocking you from feeling productive or more efficient on daily basis. And we might also have some really strong realizations regarding your lifestyle, regarding your daily life. Maybe this could be connected to some work-related changes, schedule changes as well. We've got some really interesting alignments here. We've got Mars, Venus, all in Capricorn. So that's your 12th house, lots of introspective energy as well. So you might really need to find a nice and healthy balance during this time, because it's easy to get drained if it's just all about work. You need some time for rest, relaxation, self-care. Now on the 18th, there is a new moon in Capricorn at 28 degrees of Capricorn. Now new moons are connected to new beginnings. They are not connected to culmination or breakthroughs. This is about planting new seeds, starting something new in relation to your 12th house. So 12th house is, well, the 12th house is the hidden area of the birth chart. So it's a very introspective new moon without a doubt. This is a good new moon for working from behind the scenes. This is a good new moon for a private reflection, for reflecting in the privacy of your home, for your dreams might be more vivid. Maybe you might also experience insomnia for a day or so. But whatever the scenario, this is the personal reset on a deeper inner level. This is a good time for finding ways for breaking away from any negative habits or cycles, for example. And you've got a lovely sextile to Saturn here, which is the ruler of this new moon. Saturn is all about being realistic, grounded, but also it helps you to get through to the end. It helps you with continuity. We also have Jupiter opposition. We've got lots of energies here, Mars, Venus, Mercury in your 12th house, as well. Lots of introspective energy that requires reflection, contemplation, healing, and taking it easy overall. On the 23rd, Mars enters Aquarius, and here, this is your first house. So this is actually really great news, because after this introspective new moon, with Mars entering your first house, it will feel very energizing. If it's at a very early degree, you'll feel it very quickly. If it's at a very late degree, you might feel it in February, most likely. But overall here, Mars in the first house is very energizing. It brings a lot of motivation. It brings a lot of drive to reach your goals, to reach your objectives. It's a great time for reaching your goals. You have so much energy and it gives you a lot of energy. So it's a great time for reaching your goals, reaching your milestones, and building something that you're very passionate about. It's a business or a side hustle or a personal project, for example, or perhaps if you want to start a new course of study, if you want to learn something new, if you want to join a gym, this is a good idea, especially since it's January as well. So you want to kind of start something new, something healthy, and it's easier to kind of get motivated to get going with these new goals. And here you've got Mars helping you to make it happen. Now, at the same time, watch out for, because with Mars also, sometimes it's easy to explode, overreact. So be mindful of these dynamic reactions, overreactions. It's all about understanding, meeting halfway, especially in these one-to-one connections. Now we end the month with Neptune entering Aries, and that's on the 26th. A transit that will last over a decade. You had a little taste of this transit in 2025 between April and October. This is your third house. Of course, here yet again, communication, your mindset is influenced. There's a very mystical, creative energy that will likely transform how you speak, how you communicate. My Neptune, natal Neptune, is in my third house, by the way. So here, generally, this energy can make you more of a daydreamer, but it's also an interesting transit if you want to engage in creative writing, if you want to perhaps engage in some new creative activities. This energy might also attract you to new kind of community circles connected to spirituality, self-development, self-growth. So overall here, this transit brings this major shift in how you communicate and how your mind processes information. But thank you very much. And let's have a look at Pisces. Pisces, welcome to your monthly horoscope for January 2026. So here we start with Chiron, the wounded healer, stationing direct in the sign of Aries at 22 degrees in your second house. So the second house deals with money, resources, the money that we earn through our own skills, talents, and efforts. But also this energy is connected to self-worth, self-esteem. Now, over the last few months, you may have been even unintentionally, working with any patterns connected to perhaps a low self-worth or low self-esteem, for example, or perhaps if you experienced any insecurities around financial security, stability, your ability to earn income, attract wealth. Here, Chiron stationing direct is helping you to reclaim your worth. And during this time, in these initial weeks of 2026, you may experience a renewed sense or feeling of financial empowerment. And bear in mind, this is the very last year when Chiron is here, because as of mid 2026, Chiron will begin to move into the Taurus, and it will happen fully in 2027. You've got another year here of Chiron in Aries transit in your second house. This transit is really helping you to heal any insecurities connected to money, to wealth, but also anything that affects your self-esteem or self-worth. Now, on the 3rd, we've got a full moon in the sign of Cancer happening at 13 degrees of Cancer. So a full moon occurs when the sun and the moon meet at, well, when they are in opposing signs. And here the moon is fully illuminated. This is your 5th house of creativity, personal self-expression, your inner child, children, Rome. So this full moon opposes Mars and Venus in Capricorn. Full moons usually reveal what was hidden, what wasn't fully clear, revealed. This is connected to your area of creativity, romance. So this full moon could make you think deeper about your romantic connection. If something is out of alignment, you might question the dynamic of this connection, whether you are on the same page, you and your partner are on the same page, whether something needs to change, for example, whether there is enough romance in your life. Now, at the same time, this energy could also indicate a childbirth, family planning related discussions, conversations as well. But at the same time, this is also a time to let go, release any limiting thoughts, any limiting beliefs about your ability to achieve, about your ability to attract. Here we are healing the inner child. This is about authenticity. This is about being comfortable expressing yourself. This is about being comfortable being your authentic self. You have a chance here to release, let go of what no longer serves your heart. Now, on the 18th, on the other hand, we've got a Capricorn new moon. So, of course, new moons bring very different energy. This is about new beginnings, initiation, and that's a 28th degree as well, which is connected to that now or never feeling, or perhaps you might feel like you're running out of time. This is influencing your area of friendships, groups you belong to, long-term goals, hopes for the future. So, an amazing opportunity for strengthening some of your connections, friendships. Perhaps you'll be joining a new group, perhaps you're joining a gym session or a class. This could be also a time when you might be engaged in some group projects. Perhaps this could be about networking. So it's all about these group dynamics, engaging in group activities, meeting new people, strengthening their bonds with those who truly understand you, with those who you truly care about. We've got a lovely connection to Saturn, a sextile to Saturn in Pisces, which also helps you to make the right decision. It helps you to keep things realistic, grounded in the reality as well. This could be like a fresh start in your social life, but at the same time, this new moon could make you more realistic about what is currently achievable in your life this year, and perhaps what dreams, hopes for the future are slightly out of reach at this point. Now, on the 23rd, we've got Mars moving into Aquarius. That's your 12th house. So the 12th house deals with the subconscious patterns, hidden aspects of our life, our private life. So Mars in the 12th house can generally bring a lot of introspective energy. It's an amazing transit for working independently from behind the scenes. This energy generally requires recharging. So if you work in a big team, in groups, you need to recharge yourself, because it kind of contradicts with the new moon. Yes, it was about the groups, but with Mars in the 12th house, the best times to work independently, you can really focus your energy. And if you work in a group during Mars transit, this energy won't be activated immediately. It will take some time to fully develop. But overall, with Mars 12th house, this is a time when it's important to generally engage in physical activity, because with Mars in 12th house, generally Mars in 12th house makes us repress our anger, makes us hold things in, especially when we are in a social situation and in the public role outside world. Then when we come home, we might explode. So here it's essential because, it basically we might be easily triggered once we are in our private sphere. For this reason, it's really important to have something planned, maybe a gym session, maybe some swimming, maybe some martial arts, some creative stuff going on, singing, dancing. You need some physical activity here to release the excess of energy that you would have accumulated throughout the day. That's a little advice on the side note. But other than that, this is also a good time for working with those inner aspects of our subconscious patterns. It's a great transit for self-healing, for moving away from what no longer serves us, whether these are some misaligned beliefs or some negative habits. Now, here we end the month with Neptune moving into Aries. So a big transit of 2026, which we experienced a little bit in 2025 between April and October. This is happening in your second house of finances, resources, possessions. So this energy brings a major transformation, a major shift here, especially in your area of finances, resources. Of course, as of February, Saturn will come here as well. So you'll be completely restructuring this area of your life. This could potentially indicate some career work related changes for some. Here, generally, your approach to money is about to change. Maybe you'll be saving up for something really significant, maybe something really huge, and it will require perhaps taking a little bit of a cautious, more responsible approach when it comes to money spending. This could also make you feel, especially with Neptune on its own, less materialistic, less focused on the material world, and generally your relationship with money will likely change during this time. But here with Neptune influence in the second house, money often goes in and out if we don't set clear and healthy boundaries. So the issue of boundary is huge during this time. So overall, a deep financial transformation here, especially since initially Neptune will connect with Saturn and with Pluto, and then in May with Uranus as well. So lots of different shifts, which we'll explore further and deeper another time. In the meantime, have a wonderful month, and until the next time.